people just always doing my guy Jared dirty.
That's
It's not fair.
If you miscommunicate a deep ball, it's still a bad deep ball.
He's the best quarterback in the NFC North this year.
Cheers to episode 101.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Bud Light.
Bush Light.
Corona Light.
Twisted tea. Water.
All right, so those listening again, this is not the normal show. Episode 100 and 101 are different. Evan is not with us tonight. I don't think we're legally allowed to say why he's not here. Does that feels right? We don't want to.
Evan quit the podcast. He's no longer friends with us, and it is a sad day.
Evan just got approached by Rico Beard himself to be a freelance engineer / Monday morning radio host for 97.1 The Ticket, and we pushed him to take the offer. That's not true. He's dealing with some, we'll call it work-related items, but again, we're not going to speak on his behalf.
We're going to call it bullshit.
No, I'm not. I would don't.
No. What he's doing is real.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
That he's in
work.
There. Yes.
There you go.
And it's 2 in a row now, as it stacks up, his return is going to be heavily anticipated, I think. I think he's just going to have weeks of takes just filling up his chest right here.
We might not talk next show. We might just listen.
The next episode, just be like, Evan.
Evan should just do solo podcasts for episode 102, and then 103 will be back to normal.
We're going to ask him, so how was your weekly check-in? He goes, let's see. Last time I was on Wednesday, November 15th, I did this. It's just the first hour and a half. It's just him going day by day.
Feels likely.
But anyways, tonight is Wednesday, December 14th. It is 8:50 p.m., almost 9 p.m., so a later show. Welcome into the #1 sports podcast in Michigan. We have Alex and I, Connor, Jason, and Colby, and the Lions, our Detroit Lions, not Connor's Packers, are good at the sport of football, finally.
However, they're still not 500.
However, their start of the season was atrocious. This is why we're here now. But we are here, and we're going to talk about them pretty early in the show. We're going to talk the Vikings win, the Jets preview, some listener questions. We'll have Red Wings hockey finally, and Pistons. Same thing. We're going to catch up on what's happened in those seasons, despite Alex shaking his head at how gross that is. And then we'll dive into quickly any miscellaneous thoughts people have about any college sports. The Tigers made a trade, so I included them in here. And then Christmas, any Christmas thoughts. So without further ado, we will do weekly check-ins. Alex, we last recorded a week ago, Wednesday, December 7th. How's your week been since then?
Week's been good. What did I do last weekend? Not a lot. I don't think I did anything.
I think you went out on Thursday.
Oh, I did. Drew wanted to try the Thursday night bar scene in the area. Turns out there are people that like to go out on Thursdays.
Hide your daughters. Is that not funny?
So that was fun. No, that wasn't very funny. It was fun. Friday did nothing, because I went out Thursday. So Friday, naturally, nothing.
At
Saturday,
work too?
Yeah. Saturday, went to East Lansing to see my family, my cousins. Went to the basketball game, kind of a snooze fest basketball game, but it was all right.
Shout out your free pretzel.
What?
I said shout out you for the free pretzel at the basketball game.
You're welcome. Wasn't free to me, but you're welcome.
What's up with that? You just bought a free pretzel or a pretzel to give out?
He requested me on messages, requested me money for a pretzel because he saw me up in the stands and he was in the zone. And I was like, you know what? I'm feeling nice today. And I gave him the $7 to go buy himself a pretzel. So, yeah.
Jason, how many times have you done that move, Jason? I kind of love that move. That's
Oh,
like a
I'm the king of that move. I am the king moocher. I mooch off of everybody, and
You're
I'll
good at
openly admit
mooching.
it. But I'm great at it.
We just feel bad for you.
Yeah, I mean, you should look at me.
Yeah, I just know when you're done with school, you'll pay the favor because that's how it works.
Absolutely. I've bought you a couple things. I mean, it definitely doesn't
It's
equal
not
out, but
much, but
yeah,
yeah.
it's
here and there.
honest work.
Um. So yeah, that's what I did Saturday, and then Sunday I went to the Lie Downs game and defended the Den for a second time this season on 2-0 at Ford Field. So that was a great time. Yeah, that was my weekend.
It's good stuff. Mine quickly was.
Oh, and I saw you, Grant. Psh, come on.
Yeah. No, I was gonna cover that in mine. Don't worry. Visited Detroit, back to my roots. Went to one of the better eating establishments in the Detroit suburban area called Zhao Jun in Bloomfield Hills. No free ads, but if you're ever there, get the chicken bao. Talked about it before. It'll just blow you off your seat. Saw Marissa, saw Alex. That was for Saturday night.
Saturday night. Yeah.
And then also was in the Den on Sunday. I have the PA announcer's call of, "Hey, Motown, it's third down." Every Vikings third down, they do that, and he does
The whole game.
He does not change his tone. It's the same tone. It's the same cadence.
Are we sure it's not recorded?
He changed it just enough each time that it's not recorded. He does that every time. And I just think maybe we need to come up with some new ideas in the game entertainment aspect of the Lions field, because that was like Rutgers football level, just got really old really fast.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But then, on the flip side, if you're drinking enough and you get into the fourth quarter, you start leaning into it like as a joke, like, here we go, it's third down.
Yeah, I mean, I think I started to enjoy it by the end.
Yeah, like you start beating them to the punch. You stand up and you look around at the people at you and you say, "Hey, Motown, it's third down." So that great football game.
Can we pause on your recap real quick?
Yeah.
Since you left your leftovers for me at my apartment
from Zhaojian.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't very good, honestly.
We're talking what? When'd you eat it? What day?
I ate it Monday.
All right, so we're talking 2-day-old lemon pepper shrimp. That's not the most ideal Chinese leftovers. There was no noodles.
It's fine. I ate it. But for what I was expecting, that was underwhelming.
You would have a much better time in the restaurant and with the chicken bao, but that doesn't get left over. That gets eaten at the restaurant.
Well, that's kind of what I thought you would have brought me, because that would have made more sense. Give me the good stuff.
Earlier in the week, I went to the Mall of America, rode some rides. So I go there and I'm like, I'd been there once before with my parents, looking around like, these rides look pretty rinky dinky. Like, they're in the middle of a mall, so it kind of makes sense. No, these rides are the real deal. I went on SpongeBob's Rock Bottom Plunge. My head was ringing after that thing. It takes you like straight up this little hill, not little hill, up this hill that like your head is almost touching the roof of a mall. And then it's a straight like the Western ride at Cedar Point, where it's like a 90-degree inverted drop straight down. And I'm like, oh my God, we're in the middle of a mall right now. People are shopping at Legoland and I'm just getting whipped around on a SpongeBob ride. And then went on another one, like the Wicked Twister at Cedar Point, where it goes side to side. That one was a lot too, because it spun as it did it. So I rode about 5 of those in a row and was pretty dizzy after that. But overall, it was a fun experience. There's a really cool one called Fly Over America, which is like a 4D theater ride. So they add in like sights, sounds, smells, and they have like a little mister of water that splashes on your face when they like go over areas with water in the United States. So it's pretty cool. Basically, you're looking at a big IMAX theater screen, and they took a helicopter out across our beautiful country with a camera attached. So you're seeing like what that footage picked up, and then you're like traveling across the country. was pretty cool.
Question from somebody who has never been to the Mall America. Are these
Yeah.
rides like, are they tall? Like, are you like high up?
It's like
Or are
as
they
tall
like
as a
somewhat
mall.
small?
They're not
It's like-
crazy tall.
Like how big? How like I don't know how big's the mall? Like I obviously it's
It's
probably pretty
huge.
big, but is it like 150 feet tall? Like, are you going 100 feet in the air?
I think it's like as tall as the Blue Streak or a little smaller, right?
Oh, that's
Does that
interesting.
compare?
I don't know what to compare it to. I would just say that the whole like building that the middle part in was the roller coasters. It's like a like a big basketball gym or like an airplane hangar size. Like
Okay.
it's a big hollowed out room, and they put Nickelodeon Universe inside of it.
Okay.
It's a sight to behold.
It is interesting to look at.
There's one that we went on. I think it was like the OG ride because it wasn't even Nickelodeon. It was called the Pepsi Orange Streak. So it was a pop ride, and it just goes like it was. I think one of the first ones. It went like through the whole Nickelodeon universe, and then I was like, wow, this is like a very large piece of property. So
Did you meet your favorite characters?
there was a guy dressed up in a SpongeBob outfit, and the little like brown.
Did you hug?
No, he was creepy because his like brown cardboard shorts were a little too tight. Like they were up pretty.
Oh,
They were
that's
high
weird.
past the thigh, and he looked just weird.
Wow.
So, yeah, saw that, and then I also got a new coffee pot. So that relates to this show because the old one I threw away was the old Gillen coffee pot that I took from Birmingham. So that coffee pot is dead.
That coffee pot wasn't mine. You bought that.
No, you had that.
No, I got a new
No.
one for Christmas last year because I didn't own one.
No, that one that we switched out for your new one was from your place. And then you were like, this is so bad, you just take it.
I think that was the default came with the apartment coffee maker.
I don't think the apartment came with a coffee maker.
Interesting.
Even Jason
Well, it was a
shaking
piece
his
of
head,
shit.
there's no way. It burned every cup of coffee, which is something I found.
It was doing that when we had it here.
Yeah. And what
And
I
you've been
found-
using it the whole time.
I've been grinding
It's
through
disgusting,
on the
man.
weekends. I use it on the weekends. But I found a solution. Coffee pots. Can't stand them when they burn the cup because it's not good, but I make a lot of cups of coffee. I fill up to like the 6th line. Okay. So that's a decent chunk. I'm coming back for like 2 to 3 refills. But I like it to stay warm, so I want to leave the burner on, but it just burns your coffee because it keeps cooking it. You don't need to cook coffee once it's made. So what I did was they're called like steel Cabernet pots, where think about you're brewing the coffee into essentially a Yeti that is sealed tight. So that's what I have now. It brews it into basically a Yeti that no burner on the bottom. It just stays hot as long as you keep it sealed.
How much we pay for this
Innovation
bad
at its
boy?
finest.
$70.
All right.
Black and Decker. Not again, no free ads, but Black and Decker.
All right. All right.
It was a way too early Christmas gift because I'm not going to be home to unwrap it. So sent it here, and I've been using it and can confirm the taste is good and it does not get burnt.
Having a new coffee pot that does an actual good job is life-changing.
Yeah. Makes
Really
me want to
nice.
like just linger around the house in the morning and make more pots.
That's
Now, how
why
do
I
you guys
invented
drink
travel
it?
Yetis. I drink it dark, black, nothing in it.
Any creamer for you, Grant?
I am a sucker for those like little cups they make. They have them at work, so I just peel off the top and pour in like one serving of the French vanilla.
Work coffee, sometimes I pop a little creamer in there because it's that bag coffee. Have you ever had bagged powder coffee?
What do you do with the creamer again?
I'll just plop it in there.
You just pop a little creamer in there?
Pop a little cream in there.
Yeah.
Don't you guys at the hub have the Starbucks coffee maker that is free that you could use at any
Never
time?
works.
Correct. We have it, and we can
So
use it when it works.
Only you can get like hot water or hot cocoa, but
A little
What a
cup of
waste.
hot.
You guys are
a cup of hot-
overpaying for all these amenities that
Correct.
don't work.
we
Yeah,
agree with
it
you.
sucks.
Agreed.
Wow, that was a unanimous. This sucks. Don't live there. For anyone
Is it
listening.
true, Colby and Jason, you guys are trying to become coffee guys now?
Yeah,
Jason bought a coffee maker.
Oh, Jason.
This is huge news.
Oh, he froze at his moment to tell us about his coffee maker. No, he's back.
Yeah.
No, he froze again.
Well, I can speak for him. Jason was very happy to get his coffee maker. He's happy to be a coffee guy. I haven't used it yet. I always
Do you
have.
know how?
I used to. Huh?
Do you know how?
How what?
Do you know how to use it?
Oh, yeah.
You sound like you really knew. I mean, if you're not a coffee guy, I can see how you wouldn't have any idea how to make it.
I am. So that's what I'm getting at. As I used to have like an addiction to iced coffee from McDonald's. I used to get one every morning.
Who hasn't?
Yeah, I used to go one every morning, and then I kind of stopped drinking coffee. I haven't been like make my own coffee in a coffee pot kind of guy yet. We'll get there eventually, but
I
right
have
now,
God's coffee.
You have God's coffee?
Yeah.
Jason,
What?
you're unfrozen now. So
Yeah.
Talk us
so
through this
I-
coffee maker.
What's up?
I said, talk us through this coffee maker.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally branded Mr. Coffee. I
Mm.
got it off of Amazon. I think it was like $20.
This is the one that Grant and I had.
Is it
right?
like four?
It's
like a
probably the
5
same
cup?
one.
I mean, it's in the trash can right here. I can look.
It's definitely a Mr. Coffee brand.
Oop, I don't want that
Very
coffee
tiny.
filter to fall out.
The thing is, though, I don't leave the burner on. I just like make it, and then when it's done,
This piece of shit.
mine
That is definitely
different.
Mr. Coffee.
Yeah, but mine's different from
Look
that.
how burnt the. Can't even see it, but that. Look at how shitty that burner is.
Oh yeah,
It's disgusting.
yeah. I just turn mine off right when it's done, like fully brewing, and then if I like go back for seconds when it's still not warm, I'll just like put it in a microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant's just like also not smart. Like there's other ways for him to keep his warm.
Like what? Put it in my sweatpants? What are you talking about?
The microwave, Grant?
No, I've done that. It's just that also kind of like, ew, I got coffee grinds on my desk now in that process. That wasn't worth it. Oh, I'm so rattled by that. Anyways, that microwaving coffee also makes it lose a little bit of taste. It's not gross. It gets it done, but it's not ideal.
Well, I like mine because it has a setting that you can just keep it on low, after it's made.
Oh,
Keep
your
it nice
microwaver
and-
has a coffee
Nice and
setting.
tender.
what are
My,
your guys'
my
opinions?
coffee
on,
has a microwaver setting.
What are your
Your
opinions on Keurig makers? Like just K cups.
I like Keurigs quite a bit. The problem is I drink way too much coffee to have a Keurig.
Yeah.
One,
Yep.
convenient. Two, you lose a little bit of taste, but who cares because of how convenient it is. Three, you'll go broke unless you got money bags to refill those pods because you can fly through those puppies in a day, like Alex said.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to have like 6 a day.
Same thing with like Nespressos.
You
Those
have
are kinda
6
cool.
cups of coffee a day.
He's Dan
Yeah,
Campbell.
probably close. I like 4 to 5.
Big coffee
Whatever.
guy.
What is the 6 on the thing? Probably 3.
I would say so. That's about right. Like 3 like refills of a mug.
Yeah, I have the 6, and then I have an additional cup or 2 at work.
But it depends on how deep your mug is. Like this guy can get like just 2 out of a 6er.
Yeah. So actually, we just had I think what do you call it, like a white elephant, where we exchanged gifts, and I have a coffee mug that when it heats up, it'll like reveal like an inner layer, and Moby Huge is on it, or not Moby Huge, OG Mudbone, like the picture of OG Mudbone.
I can't confirm. I don't know who that is.
This was my elephant gift.
OJ Mudbone? OG Mudbone.
Might be OJ.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to look that up on your
Yeah,
computer.
Jason, you're talking about the guy who's sitting on
It's
the
my
edge of the
personal
bed.
laptop.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. The guy sitting on the
Oh wow. Yeah, that's
Just do
yeah.
a thumbnail.
I'm on my
for your
regular
video.
laptop.
Well, that would be certainly a way to wake me up.
Yes, Jason got the best white elephant gift that day.
Connors is up there after what I just saw.
Yeah, no, Connors was pretty good.
Yeah.
Jason's was more just like shocking. Like he got the gift and it was like you have to heat it up to figure out what's on it. And then he brought it out, heated up, and it was just not what I was expecting.
Yeah, that would be a great
it-
reveal.
Yeah,
yes.
I'll go heat it up for you.
While he goes and does that,
calendar.
does anyone else, Colby or Connor, have any notable things that happened to them in the past week?
We all did the Christmas party on Friday. That was fun. Had some beverages, exchanged gifts, good night with good friends.
Good
Love
buddies.
that.
Yeah, good buddies.
Buddies indeed.
I'm trying to think. Saturday. Connor, what
To
were
the
we doing
basketball
Saturday?
game.
We went
Yeah,
to the
basketball
basketball game, and I need to get this off my chest. The people who run the Breslin big board or those graphics need to be fired immediately because at like halftime, while they were showing little people dancing on the screen, there was three horrendous, horrifying gingerbread men just dancing on the screen.
Connor was
And they
creeped
gave me
out by the
nightmares.
gingerbread man.
It was terrifying. Did you see it, Alex?
I didn't think it was that creepy, Connor.
I
To say
mean,
someone should
it's-
lose their job over that is
Absolutely should lose
pretty
their job for
dramatic.
it. I mean, I think they should just be canned immediately, and then
Connor, do you have a phobia of gingerbread men, like stemming from the Shrek movie back in the day or something? Like, where does this come from?
So the gingerbread men looked like. I mean, I've had sleep paralysis a few times here and there, and
I'd love to get into that sometime.
So the gingerbread men looked like the little demons that were running after me in my sleep paralysis.
This
So yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
they kind of haunt me, to be quite honest, especially when they're just dancing in my face.
Should clip that, Grant. This should be a Twitter clip. I want to see that on my Twitter.
Just so casually with the quotes of just like the gingerbread men look like the demons in my sleep paralysis dreams.
Yeah, that should be a
It's
clip.
intense. Yeah, I mean those things. Oof.
Yeah, no,
basketball game Saturday.
I'm on your side.
No,
with that
go
one.
ahead, Grant.
No, I was just saying I agree with Connor. That you can call for people's jobs if it hits that home. Personally,
I'll send you the video of them right now.
basketball game Saturday, Colby.
Yeah, and then not a whole lot Saturday night. Sunday,
Saturday
Connor
night, we
spent a
went
couple
to-
days at his grandparents, and so me and Jason just had a day of we both just sat on the couch all day, didn't move, and watched football.
Love that.
So it was a good day.
What was your biggest takeaway from that Sunday couch session, whether it be NFL or anything else?
Scott Hansen's still good at what he does.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
People
not a
been
Scott
upset with
Hansen
Scott
guy,
Hansen
Grant.
lately.
I haven't watched Red Zone in a long time.
Oh wow,
I will
That's
this.
quite the cup.
I will this Sunday. Wow. Yeah,
Well, no, I'll
That's a
I'll
cup.
save that for the Lions segment later.
that's a cup, Jason. That's a cup.
Yeah, it's cool.
So between Colby's sentence there and the cup, I say we get into Lions football because that's what Jason's mug has been doing. That's what the Lions have been doing to the whole league the last 6 games. So a little stat to start this. I went and looked because I was sitting there, and first things first, it was like I was in an AA meeting where I just raised my hand and say, "My name is Grant, and I'm in love with the 6 and 7 football team, and I can't help it." I mean, I'm in love with this Lions team. I've never loved a below 500 team more in my life. This team, I feel like I can relate to. We're watching them grow up in front of our eyes. And so it got me thinking, I'm like, when's the last time this fan base would have felt this good in the moment about a team? Like over a stretch of not just 1 or 2 games, but we've got 6 games now where even in our loss was to the Super Bowl favorites right now on FanDuel by like a point that we should have won. It's the answer, if you guys are wondering, is 2016 when that team started 1-3 and then went 8-1 over a 9-game stretch to roar back to a lead, and then they fizzled out. Alex, we went to the Sunday night game against the Packers.
I remember it.
Lost
The
to
Zach
Seahawks.
Center season.
But we are right now doing almost the opposite of that, where we start even worse, are peaking towards the end of the year. We still have a couple games left, obviously. This is so tripping me out that like they can just come in through different rooms. But
They're all together.
my point remains is it's been since 2016 since we've probably felt this type of way about this Lions team.
Yeah, easily.
Is everyone else as
Because-
bought in as I am?
Yes, this is the most fun I've ever had watching the Lions. I'll say that.
You're young.
I know.
But Evan and I were fully planning to do some blue Kool-Aid talk today. Evan said on Sunday that we had to buy blue Kool-Aid and drink it on the show. I did forget about that. Evan didn't show up to the show though, so I don't feel too bad. But yeah, the Lions are fun to watch. It's not like they're getting lucky every game. They actually look like a good football team, which is exciting and surprising, but not surprising because we kind of predicted it at the beginning of the year. We were just off on how the first 7 games would go.
Yeah, I guess they are going to creep close to what records we initially had.
Really close. Easily could get the same record we predicted,
Yeah.
right? They have 7 losses. They go 10-7.
I think the two of us may have been around 9-8.
I think I said 9-8. Evan said 10-7.
Yeah, Evan was the most bullish, even though he's usually the most negative, which was a stunning turn of events back then.
Yeah. So I guess right what we thought. We're geniuses.
About the game specifically, JMO touchdown, nailed it. Someone has never been more right about a guy making a second career start and running limited snaps than I was about Jameson Williams. To let our guests know, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday of last week, I texted the group chat.
I don't think it was that early. Let's not get crazy.
That's a weird thing to check receipts on because it was early in the week. It was like we're talking about the Kool-Aid. Jameson Williams is a hot topic. I kept reading articles. We're going to use him more. We're going to use him more. What was I met with? I don't know, Grant. Like, he's just not going to play.
I did not comment, so don't lump me into this.
He's not going to play enough snaps.
Thursday. You said it on Thursday.
They're like, oh, not going to play enough snaps. I don't know. Talk to Alex later in the week. Reinforce it when I saw him in person. Like, I have a feeling in my gut this kid's going to score a touchdown tomorrow because he only needs like one snap to make an impact. What does he do? Catches a 40-something yard bomb. My Twitter, my fingers in the group chat was going so fast. I was like, what did I say? I know football. I know ball. Look at this guy. I was like Stu Feiner in the moment. That's what I was. That's how I felt when you're just trying to sell yourself.
We're happy for you. We are.
I'm happy for the whole. I'm really happy for the whole fan base. It was a great moment. I was especially happy for me putting myself out there like that with a crazy take.
I think Colby had the same take. I think it was like around noon on Sunday where he was like, you know what? Jameson Williams is going to score his first touchdown today.
Well, I may have said that, but I will say that.
Always says that every week.
I started him in fantasy, and I got told that Jameson Williams is only projected 2 points. Don't start him in fantasy. Start somebody else.
Wow.
Less than 2.
And what do you know? I keep him in the lineup. He gets me a touchdown.
That's awesome. I also was somewhat of a fraud because I was debating between our good friend Zay Jones and Jameson Williams, and I played Zay Jones, which was the right call looking back because Zay Jones absolutely responded. Jason, did you start him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't win, but I still started him.
I started him in my other league as well. So we had 3 Zay Jones in this.
Zay Jones is so back.
This is a Zay Jones podcast now.
This is a little dirty secret. I'm so into Zay Jones right now. I'm starting Trevor Lawrence as my streaming QB, and I'm going to stack Trevor Lawrence and Zay Jones to a first-round playoff win.
Who you got? Who you got in the playoffs?
Breezy's Pieces, which I believe is Levi.
Oh, that team's dead. What a cakewalk draw.
I should also just say this, which I might regret. I might pivot. Trevor's not locked in because they're playing Dallas. It feels bad having your starting quarterback going up against the Dallas defense. But Trevor's just been playing great ball.
I'll drop Tua. You can have him.
You drop Tua?
I will for you.
Yeah,
he plays the Bills. Not a better matchup.
He's not a cold weather quarterback.
Oh, it's at Buffalo? Yeah, no chance. I would start Trevor Lawrence over him.
I would too. Why not Jerry Goff? Why not run it back on the Jags?
Well, we'll get into that in the Jets segment. Jets defense is good.
Oh, also a good defense. Look at all these streaming QBs
and
tough matchups.
Cold weather Jared Goff and MetLife. We'll get to that game. More about this game. Any other things that really stood out to you as you watched this game? This was a crazy football game.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson is pretty good.
I was going to say,
feels like we should give him some credit.
He had the quietest 200 and 20 yards that I've ever seen in a football game.
Well, every completion was to him.
It got loud, but especially at halftime, quietest 93-yard half of all time in history of the sport. He looked up, I was like, oh, he's got 93 yards at halftime? That's insane. And then I'm more than doubled it in the second half.
I'm probably the only one that realized he was going off just because I was playing him in fantasy to try to make the playoffs. So I was very cognizant of what was happening, which was unfortunate.
35 points in a PPR league, no
touchdowns. That's insane.
He should have
had one too.
And he potentially should have had a touchdown.
Yeah, he still scored that drive. Would have won anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially.
Oh, Vikings Kool-Aid skull suckers here.
Like part of my take, verbal meme of the handshake. tweet when people do the handshake of like a name and a name. Jared Goff, JJ McCarthy, deep ball specialist. Huge
Don't
development.
do that.
Oh, they hate it, but
Here
it's
we
true.
go.
Gus Johnson could have been on the Lions broadcast saying they said he couldn't throw the deep ball, even though his JMO one he joked was actually a punt because that's what it looked like. And then his Jared Goff, his DJ Chark one was an absolute dime.
Who said Jared couldn't throw a deep ball?
That was a narrative this year. We all talked about like, could he even?
Not me.
Could he even hit JMO? Could he even?
Yeah,
and then
he underthrew JMO like we expected him to.
And then in the Thanksgiving game, he put one of the worst balls in the history of deep balls.
He
DJ
thought he
Chark
was
on the
going
line.
back shoulder. It was a miscommunication. People just always doing my guy Jared dirty.
That's
It's not fair.
If you miscommunicate a deep ball, it's still a bad deep ball.
He's the best quarterback in the NFC North this year.
This is a weird chuckle from Con. Like,
I
do you,
do
okay,
agree with you.
this is a weird debate to get into. Well, we can't. Kirk threw for over 400. Kirk was slinging the rock around Ford Field as well. But
He was.
if the Lions had Justin Fields, we might have a couple more wins too.
No. Do you know Justin
No.
Fields has fumbled 11 times this year?
Were those all earlier in the year? Because I can overlook that.
11.
We went
Grant.
1-6.
We were
You can-
freaking out when Jared has fumbled 5 times this year. Fields has fumbled double-digit times,
With all that being
plus
said,
interceptions.
question for the group: do you guys still? I still need to see Jared Goff be pretty consistent over these next 4 weeks to like be really sold, because I can't just forget some low points of last year and going 1-6. Like, it's been a nice 6-game stretch, but need him to play well outdoors. Need him to look the part in the next 4 weeks, at least where I'm at. I'm curious what everyone else thinks about Jared.
I don't need Jared to be a superstar the next 4 weeks or anything. Just continue to be serviceable, and I think it's safe to say he'll be back. Honestly, I said in the moment at Ford Field that Jared just bought himself a 5-year contract. A little premature, probably at the
5-year
moment.
extension.
I mean, yeah, I could see it. He's young. It's not like he lacks talent. He has talent. He's a good quarterback. He's playing really well.
I mean, you guys are gonna have
Top
a
10 in
top 4
QBR.
pick, and I think I think you guys are guaranteed to take Stroud if he's there at 4 with your Rams pick, which maybe could be like a Trey Lance situation where he's just on the bench. But
I'm going to say something reckless.
To be the quarterback.
I don't want CJ Stroud, even if he falls in my lap. I'm just going to say that right now.
I think that's
I might
a good-
Reckless.
I
That's
would
something
agree
you've
with
said
that.
for weeks.
I might change
I don't
my
want him
mind.
either. I want
I don't
Bryce
want to
Young
draft a quarterback
or no
this year.
one. Bryce Young or no one?
Zach Wilson.
No.
Jason,
Jason, no. I don't want Will Levis. I don't care how much
Oh,
arm
dude,
talent he
I'm
has.
part
He's
of my
not Josh
group.
Allen.
He's got huge hands.
No, I don't want Will Levis. I do see the Josh Allen comparisons though.
I mean,
He'll
I
probably
have a-
suck for 3
Will
years,
Levis
and
might
then
just be Jared Goff.
they're just completely different players.
You never know.
Never know.
No, I know.
He hasn't
for a
played in the
fact.
NFL. You have no idea how he's going to play in the NFL.
He's faster and more athletic than
Uh-huh.
Jared. No offense to Jared.
Yeah, Jared is really. I was thinking about during the game, like if there was a scramble off between Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins, who would win, and I landed on Kirk Cousins because I was like, he's still like. Kirk's had some nasty scrambles this year. As someone who's seen,
Jared's had
Minnesota
one
Vikings
nice
ball.
scramble this year, and he got that personal foul again this weekend.
Yeah,
Nice scramble, got a penalty. Jared knows what he's doing. Give the man his credit.
Jeff.
I want you to
Okuda-
praise Jared right now, Grant.
He's been playing amazing.
You want him next year,
Pending the last 4 weeks.
regardless.
His contract's so big. Can we rework it?
It's not that big anymore. Look at all the other quarterbacks. He's not that big, and his cap hit goes down.
That's what she said. It's big.
Still like 68 million over 2 years, isn't it?
52,
Oh God.
and it's light. I mean, you know how much you have to pay for a top 5 pick.
If this is a Alex Smith starts when we have young Patty Mahomes in the wings through the draft, I can live with that.
There is no other Patrick Mahomes, Grant.
Oh, there's going to be another one someday.
No,
Or
probably
love.
not.
Alex, that's such a ridiculous thing to say. There's going to be a kid that absolutely
He's unbelievable.
There'll be someone that good.
No, I don't see it. Not for a while.
I mean, I know they're different, but like we just had a Josh Allen enter the league and a Joe Burrow. Who's Joe Burrow that he has Mahomes in his pocket?
Mahomes does things that Joe simply can't do, and I love Joe.
I don't think you do. I think you're a jealous little girl about Joe Burrow. We're so off topic. Jeff Okudah is a fantastic tackler, so much so that I think he's probably the best tackling cornerback in the entire NFL. That was a takeaway I had from Sunday's game.
Sure, let's get better at coverage, though.
Yeah, I didn't really go back and digest this game that way.
Of course you wouldn't. That makes sense.
I don't think they did the same strategy against Jefferson in week 3. I think that was apparent by how many yards he got. So I don't think they did the whole like double team with like Okudah as the main guy the whole time. Because every time I looked up, Okudah wasn't tackling Justin after the catch only once, and it was a really good tackle. That's why I wrote that down. And Jeff had the 4th and 1 stop, absolutely plugged that hole in
that was
the game.
big.
So I don't know, but as long as you can keep a team under like 25 points with this offense, you got a chance to win a football game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a corner at the second pick this year in the first round, if available.
I don't know enough of the cornerbacks right now.
Joey Porter, son.
I know him. Yeah. 2 amazing plays in this game. The fake punt and the Panay
balls. Big balls.
Panay pass.
Do you think Dan really didn't know about the Panay pass going on? No. I think that was just a bit.
Hand up. I was listening to the McAfee show because I wanted to see what he said. I got lost in the sauce, and they were kind of confused too. A bunch of our beat writers, the people that work for like Pride of Detroit, were like, he was on 97.1 earlier in the morning and said he didn't even know the wave was going on. So I think this was like Dan Campbell meathead way of deflecting credit to his coordinators, which is really funny and awesome, but also confuses a very like low IQ fan base, which I'm lumping myself into. I was very confused. I thought he was being serious, and like, it's not great that he just had no.
It felt like a bit. It felt like a bit.
So I think he was well aware of everything that was going on. It's awesome. And for people that are like, I don't think I've seen anyone say like, oh, it's too risky to do. If Andy Reid did stuff like this, we would call him a genius, because I've watched Andy Reid do stuff like this. So we just have to accept it. Like if it went poorly, I'm still going to like the idea because it was there. So
you know that all the dumb fans would be furious if those things didn't work.
Yeah.
They'd be like fire Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Like, I am not in that camp. I'm all for being aggressive when you are not as talented as some of the other teams at the top of the league.
And it was on their own 30, right?
The fake punt was wild. It was wild.
That was ballsy, but
then your boy on the other side of the field got that taunting call, and
yeah,
I mean, I just don't. It had nothing to do with the play, but
yeah. Special teamers though, they gotta talk that shit when they can, dude. It's gotta be so boring on special teams.
That was their moment.
They always like after touchbacks, the special teamers always pump up the crowd as they leave the field for the defense to come on. It's a staple of every NFL game.
Every football game, really.
But I thought Dan did a good mix of like passive. There was another time earlier in the game when they looked like they were going to go for it on 4th and 4, let the clock run down. They kicked the field goal to go up like, I was like, good. We kicked the field goal. We took the points. It was a little risky to kick with Badgley at the end, because if that got blocked for a touchdown.
My dad hated it. Texted me in the stadium. You got here for being aggressive, and now you're going effing conservative. Just freaking out.
I forget how long the conversion was, but it was like flashbacks to the Minnesota game at Minnesota where we kicked, missed.
Not like it was going to happen again, but the kick was a little closer. I mean, we attempted like a 58-yarder or something at Minnesota.
Yeah, and Badgley had missed already, but I think he redeemed himself, so he thought he was back on track. So I can live with it mainly because we won. It's easier to nitpick stuff like that after a win. Evan's not on right now. I had a question for Evan. I was going to try to get him to publicly apologize to Taylor Decker, because Jeremy Reisman tweeted out that he had another game with no pressures, not even no sacks, no pressures on the quarterback. And that's his 4th game out of 5, I think, that he's had no pressures.
He's a great football player, and Evan will eventually admit it. I don't even really know what Evan's hate against him is.
What's his problem with him? Like, what does he just not like him?
We don't really know.
State.
No, I think he just thinks he sucks at football because he had a couple penalties.
He's a little penalty prone. I think he's had lower seasons than this is one of his better years, so I think it helps. He's had some hiccups, and mainly Evan always says he's paid too much money. That's
Evan's argument with every single player that is good but not good enough. Like Evan's got to realize at some point that everybody's expensive, that is worth a lick, and that's just how it's going to work. You're not going to have a cheap roster and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he's a he's an above average left tackle in the NFL. I feel comfortable saying. Easily. Like, I think he's got to get paid in that range. The next part was the season turnaround and the playoff push. I want to go quickly into the playoff math, I guess, to dumb it down. Again, another credit to Jeremy Reisman, good beat writer for the team. He broke it down in a very SparkNotes way. So essentially, I think we all know, it's a 4-team race between the Giants, Commanders, Seattle, and us. So if we go
2 spots, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If we go 4-0, 2 of those teams have to go 2-2. Or if we go 3-1, 2 of those teams have to go 1-3 in their remaining 4, and we will be in the playoffs. Quickly, their schedules to make you feel better. We have the Jets, Panthers, Bears, Packers. I'm not doing home and away. That's too much. Commanders have the Giants, 49ers, Browns, Cowboys.
2 losses there. I can smell them.
Giants have Commanders, Vikings, Colts, Eagles.
2 losses there. I smell them.
Seahawks have 49ers, Chiefs, Jets.
Loss. 3 losses there.
So, yeah, I when I look at that, I know like the probability, like the Kornacki on Sunday Night Football says we still have like a 16 to 20% chance. I think it's higher in my personal formula. I think we have like at least a coin flip chance to make the playoffs.
I don't think so.
No?
Because I don't feel great about us going 4-0 down the stretch.
I think 3-1 can get us in. I've done it on the.
I think if we go 3-1, it's a no. I don't see it.
I see it.
I mean, you got to think about teams. The Eagles could rest their starters in the final game.
That's the big key.
That stuff's going to start happening. That tie really boned us.
So I think we want in this big game. I think we want the Commanders to win to lose, because I think they could lose to the Giants, the 49ers, the Browns, and the Cowboys, because the Browns are better now with Deshaun. So that's 4 teams that are tough.
No, not true.
The Browns are better now than with Jacoby Brissett.
No. I don't know if you followed. Deshaun stinks poo-poo right now.
2 games. He'll
like
be bad.
Poo-poo bad stinky. Jacoby was one of the most efficient QBs in the league.
Okay, well, I can't trust your Jared Goff takes if you're just
Deshaun
going to
is
tell me.
Diarrhea right now. And that's generous. Connor, I know that you're paying attention.
He's making progress, though.
Is he?
Yeah, he was cramping out on the field and massaged himself this time. So, he's making progress.
It's big.
Hey, you better do good. He's my second fantasy quarterback on my roster heading into the playoffs. So,
well, he sucks. I'm sorry that your team's going to lose.
I will say that when we were watching Red Zone in Deshaun's first game back against the Texans, there was many throws that we looked at each other and were like, Deshaun stinks.
Well, stinky poo-poo bad.
I think his thinking is that he forgot he was on the Browns and not the Texans, because it was like his first game back. So maybe he actually thought that he was supposed to throw to Houston.
Oh,
I like that.
You're right. Anyway,
actually, that same comment Colby made about Red Zone is I looked at Alex last year about Jalen Hurts, and look at the turnaround that kid's made. He's a baller now.
Grant said Jalen Hurts was god-awful.
He couldn't throw 5-yard outs last year. I don't know what happened in the offseason. I guess just hard work. But like,
I have seen, he's gone up like 8% in completion percentage in 1 year, which is unprecedented.
Question for the group, the 3 guests: Did any of you find yourself fully giving up on MCDC when we were at our lowest of lows, 1-6, or how did you feel about Coach at points in this year?
I know Connor said we should fire Dan Campbell early on.
I forgot Connor's a Packers fan.
I mean, if things wouldn't have turned around, yeah, I'd probably be sitting here like, I mean, how much longer are you going to give the guy? Because at first, I don't know, like the beginning of the year, it felt like one of those guys that's like, oh, he's a super cool person. You like to have him around. But when it comes to football, is he really going to get it done? But now him, and I guess more credit to Ben Johnson, but now like it's turning around. So he bought himself another year. If we go 10-7 next year, then I mean, he's good. But if you start out 1-6 again next year, I think he could, I don't know, there'll be discussions.
But I mean, like What are the chances of Ben Johnson? Do you think he's going to get any offers?
I think he's got one more year in Detroit, and then if he has another great season, he'll be out.
I think he's a horrendous football coach that no one really wants around the league.
Correct. Honestly, he is dog shit. No one should consider even interviewing him, honestly.
I think they should fire Dan Campbell and bring in Ben Johnson as the OC and bring Matt Patricia back.
Okay, next question, Grant.
This year.
Shout out World of Isaac for that statement, though. Ben Johnson's awful. Nobody wants him. He's ours.
Well, he is awful. He's an awful coach. And I'll push that propaganda for a while.
I asked that question about MCDC to, again, pat ourselves on the back type of show where we never fully gave up on MCDC. I was probably one of the more critical ones. Evan was always year 3 no matter what, how this year went.
Evan was ride or die. And he had a lot of negative things to say about him.
I said you just got to get above what you did last year. You got to get to 4 wins back when we were 1-6. And I can be like, all right, fine. We're making incremental progress. But we never fully were like, this guy stinks. There's a lot of people that I've seen on Twitter that have decent amount of followers that have been like, this guy is an absolute joke of a coach and we need to get him gone yesterday. So those people can't be feeling too great nowadays because the whole city is behind this guy and you're like the odd man out who didn't just shut up when things were going bad and just wait how it went.
Grant, bring Jim Caldwell back. Come on.
Oh, dude, that every time I see someone
sick of that take.
Oh my God, the amount of people and people that aren't Lions fans that I've encountered in my life, but you guys fired Jim Caldwell. And I'd be like, yeah, he was 1 in 500 against teams that were above 500. Same thing I say about Stafford. I respect the hell out of Stafford. We just never won big games with Matthew Stafford.
You want to hear a stat?
We just never did. Yeah, I love stats.
Dan Campbell against teams 5 games or more above 500 is 5-0.
Seems made up, but I love it if it's true.
So
5-0.
Packers would be 2 of them, but who else?
Was that when you had
the Vikings on Sunday?
Yeah.
The Cardinals.
Okay. Yeah.
Last year.
That was a huge game.
And the 7-2 Giants this year.
Oh.
Now, is that a cherry pick a little bit because the Giants suck now? Maybe. Or we broke them.
So if you get in the playoffs, you're guaranteed to win every single week pretty much.
I've seen so much smoke from national media that if the Lions get into the playoffs, they could do damage. And I need everyone to calm down. I need to see us make the playoffs. We are America's team.
I will say it's awesome having the country on your team's back. Everybody's rooting for you. Nobody's rooting against the Lions except for scummy Packers fans like Connor.
It's the kiss of death.
What did you just say, Colby?
I said nobody's rooting against the Lions except for people like you, Packers fans. But you're not
Connor
even
rooting for
right
us
now.
I'm rooting for the Lions to. Well, actually, I'm rooting for my perfect scenario is Packers Lions. Like Colby, we already talked about this. Packers Lions last week, both 1 win away. Winner gets in.
Packers are dead, Connor.
Packers suck, Connor.
Oh no, I know they're dead, but I want Lions to have to win at Lambeau.
Which we won't. I already know. We're going to miss the postseason because of that. That's just how it's going to go.
Hoping Rodgers still plays.
Matt Flynn, nightmares in my head now.
We're different. I did have one theory before we go to the Jets game quickly was sitting around. I'm like, so what really changed in this team from being 1-6 to now? Because we've had injuries throughout the whole year. We're about as healthy as we've been right now. So I think that plays a huge part, especially in the offensive line. I did have one of those woke theories, I would say. It's probably overthinking it, but I remember watching Hard Knocks and just seeing our training camp and how hard we were hitting every single day. And it seemed like compared to other training camps around the NFL, teams don't full live go tackle people to the ground that much at all. So watching the Lions do that every single day, I was like, did we come out slow because our guys were just burnt out from training camp and ran into a bunch of fresh teams? But now the hard work is paying off because they can go harder, faster, longer. I don't really know what turned around in this team, but it's kind of remarkable that they were 1-6 and then they just won 5 out of 6 and nothing really changed.
Well, Dan ripped Aaron Glenn behind closed doors about his defense. They fired the defensive backs coach.
Yeah, we did.
And then, boom, everything magically started working.
After what game do we fire the DB's coach?
Great question. I think was it Miami or was it
Miami?
So was it 1-6? Yeah, after Tyreek and Waddle carved us, but they carved every team. So
yeah,
the Patriots 29-0 was the low point of the season for sure.
Oh, by far.
by far.
Yes.
That doesn't even seem real anymore.
I know. And
That's a different team.
The
Well,
offense
that's what
wasn't.
scares me.
Both
Is
are
like
completely awful. Different.
I don't know. I mean, they're two completely different teams. Just like heading up northeast to New York to play the Jets. I'm just praying something crazy doesn't happen when we go there and just lose by like
We're 1-0 in that stadium
24.
this year, Colby.
I know.
Yeah.
Jets are both. Both teams are so desperate. I mean, if either team loses, like there's a good outlook that they don't make the postseason.
There's a lot on the line. Yeah, every single game we play this year is at 1 o'clock.
Game.
Except one.
They could. Never mind. I was gonna say they could flex it, but they already have a good game for that.
Maybe the Lions could get a flex action. That'd be cool. I'm gonna keep my eyes out for that.
Versus Carolina, since Carolina's fighting for their division win.
What a choke. Imagine if we were in that division.
I think, to Colby's point, I don't think you have to worry about us getting blown out against the Jets, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if they lose. I think everyone knows the Jets started hot. Sauce Gardner, Buzz, they're rookies, and they kind of hit a lull, and they had the QB stuff. So I guess the biggest things is like their defense is just elite. Like they have a very good defense, top to bottom.
Better hope Quinnen Williams doesn't play.
I believe he's going to be out.
Are you Ian Rappaport breaking this news?
I saw talk of it today on my feed. It says the good thing is Mike White is day to day, so that is your quarterback.
I hope Zach Wilson plays because that guy. Talk about quarterbacks we've seen. That guy stinks, and I said that since the first snap I watched him play.
Zach Wilson.
He is awful.
Yeah,
it would be classic though. Get benched, come back. Got to play in injured relief. Baker Mayfield us. That would suck.
All right, here's your latest. This was just today. Yeah, 4 hours ago from Danny Rogers, our beat reporter. Quinnen Williams calf, no practice. Salah said he's 50-50 for the game.
He's out.
Mike White limited. So he's going to play if he's limited today. He's probably going to play.
Yeah, he's in.
He's a gamer.
Head coach out. He's on the Spartan Dog for Life show today.
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw
Joe
that.
Flacco's coming in to torch you guys.
I'm fine with Joe Flacco.
I'm worried about the Ohio State crime Garrett Wilson might do to Jeffrey this weekend.
I did have Garrett Wilson written down. He's like sneakily.
He's going off.
Up the ranks. Like Olave stole the first
going
half of the year.
Off lately.
So Olave still has the lead on rookie yards, but it's like a 30-yard gap. Garrett Wilson's right there. I don't think he's had a game like below 50 yards in like the last 5, maybe one random one. But he's had like a 160-yard game in there. Like he's legit.
He's really good.
He's legit.
I have nightmares from what he did to Michigan State last year.
Yeah.
Your guy Grant just got absolutely torched by him. Marquis.
Oh, Marquis Lowry, that sucks. What's Marquis Lowry doing these days?
He's still on the squad. He's just been injured.
Hanging out.
Just chilling.
He's not in the portal, so he'll be back.
That's really the Jets game. Let's do some predictions.
Ooh. Start with Jason at the bottom.
Yeah. I think they're gonna fall this weekend. I'm sorry. And I think we'll lose
7 on the show.
21-17.
Thank you for giving us Evan's prediction, Colby.
I'm gonna ride with them. We're gonna stay hot, but we're gonna score less points than we normally do. It's gonna be like 20-17. We win 23-20, something like that.
Connor.
I think it's a trap game for both teams, but
Double trap.
Should be riding.
What the hell is a double trap?
29-20.
Is it a trap game when you're looking ahead?
Trap games when
I
you're like
think
coming off a big win or desperation.
Oh yeah.
No, but that's just a double trap. It actually equals that definition. So yeah, I'm going Jets 29, Lions 20.
No
Granny?
chance the Jets are about to score 29 points.
Mm.
They might. If they do,
Granny?
kind of, we'll revisit this and I'll be
Many
the man of
teams
my word. Does it come to a run or an end? Does that run
Eventually,
end?
it will, right?
It has to. And first thing I'm going to do a little just quick prayer for everyone's health on the MetLife turf that is going to be gone after this year. The biggest win of this game is everyone comes out healthy. So I'm going to say that first and foremost. The Jets are a good football team. I wanted Salah as our head coach. I'm back and on Dan Campbell now that he's wooed me. I'm easy to be wooed. Given, with that being said, how easy I am to be wooed. Your Detroit Lions, 19. Jets, 17.
Oh, yuck.
Get out of it's gonna be one of those games where you're just screaming, get out of MetLife now. Get on the bus. We just stole a game we should not have won. 19-17. Alex.
27-17 Lions.
Slurp.
Let's just not. I haven't been wrong on a predict. I don't think I've been wrong on a prediction in 9 weeks.
So you've gotten every score right in 9 weeks.
Result.
Okay.
I'll have to go back and check that.
I might have put the Lions to beat the Bills.
9 weeks. No, you probably picked the Bills money line. All right, we'll check it.
I'm hot. I think I'm hot on the picks.
Well, I hope for your sake that trend continues. There was listener questions. I feel like we probably hit them all. Wouldn't you think? We just talked about them for a long time.
I'll ask one question. One fast question. It's a yes or no, no background. Do the Lions make the playoffs this year? This is not a listener question, Grant. This is my listener question. Do the Lions make the playoffs, yes or no?
Yes.
Colby?
No.
Yes.
No. Okay. Move on.
I'm looking at. I just want to answer one for Ben because he's so diehard.
And we did kind of answer him.
Do they need the Lions? Do they need to make the playoffs to maintain momentum? I don't think so. I think they'll have momentum going into the next year, no matter what.
They don't need to make the playoffs for this season to be deemed successful.
Alex, are you going to Minnesota if they play the Vikings in the first round? That was a question.
Absolutely, yes. No doubt about it.
Or saving it for next year's home game is what they're thinking, which I love that our fan base is already thinking about posting games next year.
No, I'm going because I got a free couch. Do you have a couch?
Futon.
Well, it'll work.
The Lord's couch.
Would you guys rather the Lions get it? Because, there's a chance that we finish, I don't know how it all shapes up, but, somehow we get in as the 6th seed and we're over, Washington or Seattle or something like that, and we're the 6th seed, we play San Francisco. Would you rather play San Francisco first round or Minnesota? I feel like that's an easy question.
Obviously, I think it's Minnesota because of how good San Fran's defense is and the fact that we should be 2-0 against Minnesota.
Correct. That's what I was thinking.
But I don't really love our chances with either just because it's hard to beat a team twice.
Yeah.
And I think the Niners are really good. But Brock Purdy, that gives me a hope.
Recency bias, I would say play Minnesota. But if Brock Purdy kind of stumbles, which you got to figure a last pick in the draft rookie quarterback is going to stumble at some point, I wouldn't mind that matchup.
I'm not terrified of anybody.
Season.
I don't think anyone in this. I don't think anyone.
I wouldn't want to play Philly.
No.
We're going to have to play Philly in the second round if we.
We're talking second round, baby.
First game. if we win the first game, we will have to play Philly.
Not if both wild card teams win.
We're going to lose to the Jets this weekend.
If both wild card teams win twice, the Lions are the 6th, we could host the NFC Championship game.
Shut up,
Alex.
I
see Lions choking in it. I'm going to root so hard for them to get to the championship in the NFC and choke so you can experience.
You don't know how on tilt I'll be for that entire week.
Connor,
I have to take the week off.
You'll be really on tilt.
This might be
I'd be panicked, Connor. I've never seen that in my life.
I'm not gonna speak for the whole fan base because there are probably some winners out there, but this is my loser fan base. If we made the NFC Championship game and lost, I would still be really happy about everything that transpired.
Oh, I would be drinking so much Kool-Aid about the upcoming year.
But there's no way you're gonna.
Your fan base has expectations because you have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
We've never even been to the NFC Championship in our life.
I know, but
never won a playoff game in my life.
That'll be the saddest moment of your life.
Yes, it will be very depressing in the moment, and then I will drink so much off-season Kool-Aid, you have no idea.
No, I agree.
We'll have a top 5 pick and be an NFC Championship game.
When Michigan lost to Georgia, I wasn't devastated. I was just it was a good ride.
Comparison. When Michigan State loses in the Final Four in basketball every year, I don't cry. I just that was a good season.
Oh,
Texas
Pistons
Tech, I
won.
was pretty upset.
That
though.
Texas Tech one, you had to be feeling bad because
That one hurt. That one hurt, but that was also the 7th one I had seen in my life.
All right,
There was expectations.
Quickly do the Do You Know Ball quiz. Not everyone has to answer. Just maybe you guys can use our brain power to get it. This is from Barstool Sports, so it came from part of my take when they were talking about like, do you know ball? They put together a 5-question quiz to see if you know ball. Number 1, there is one instance where a team can attempt a field goal where the opponent must be at least 10 yards away from the spot of the ball and cannot rush their opponent. What does that team have to do beforehand to make this happen?
It's a real question.
Can you repeat the question?
There's one instance where a team can attempt a field goal where the opponent must be at least 10 yards away from the spot of the ball and cannot rush the field goal attempt. What does that team have to do beforehand to make this happen?
Connor, you know, it looks like.
Have you taken the test, Connor? Has anyone taken this test?
No, but they talked about it. I'm pretty sure that's what they argued about on PMT last week.
I have no idea. I really don't know.
I actually should remember this. This happened in London in 2019. I worked this game, and I was absolutely flabbergasted at what I was watching because I didn't understand.
You should know.
Joey Sly or something? Who kicked that?
So it's like, but what is it? Oh, so it's if a team punts to you and you fair catch, and then on that first down, you kick a field goal, which they did because there was only 1 second left in the half when he caught the fair catch. They can't rush the kick.
Wild.
It's like a fair catch kick. I don't know why they invented that, but that is a thing.
It's a dumb rule, but whatever.
So,
congrats, Grant. You know ball.
Well, I didn't really know that. I had to go. There's a video that's linked to it. I'm looking at the quiz now, so I can see the answers. A punted ball is touched by the punting team. The punted ball is touched by the punting team first before being downed. Then the receiving team picks it up and runs with it. The receiving team member fumbles the ball, and the kicking team recovers. What happens next?
It's still the receiving team's ball.
Correct.
Yes, that.
What a scenario.
Jason, isn't that what happened in our Madden game? Or no?
Oh my God, that's what happened.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Because me and Jason were playing Madden and had a really weird scenario where we couldn't figure out why it was like Jason's ball or something because we thought it should have been mine or it was something like that. I don't know. That's weird.
We know ball. Question 3. Team A lines up for an extra point. It gets extra point. It gets blocked. Team B gets tackled in the end zone while trying to run it back the other way. Which team scores and how many points do they score? I know this one.
For the kicking team?
Safety for the kicking team would be my guess.
On an extra point.
Oh.
Is it 1 point?
Is it 1 point for the
It is a one. The only way you can get 1 point in the sport of football.
Is it for the
1 point
team
for
or
the kicking team or the receiving team?
It is 1 point
team.
that kicked. Yes, team
Okay,
A
yes.
gets 1 point. So they basically get the extra point if they tackle you in the end zone. It happened in the 2013 Fiesta
Are
Bowl
these rules? Wow. Played
between
that game.
Oregon and Kansas State. That was the D'Anthony Thomas return the opening kick, looked at his watch game. Whatever that was.
We were busy playing for a Rose Bowl. I wasn't very interested in that.
So we know ball so far. Question 4. 4 NFL teams have never been to a Super Bowl. Who are they?
Lions,
Jaguars, Texans.
Houston.
You got 3 of them.
And the Browns?
Yeah. We know ball.
That was easy.
Last one. From 2001 to 2018, the AFC starting quarterback in the Super Bowl included Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, or Ben Roethlisberger, all but 2 times. Who were the other two QBs that took their place?
Flacco and Trent Dilfer?
Not Dilfer. It's a good guess. I think he was 2000.
The year you said 2001 to 2018?
Yes. This is a crazy stat that those 3 guys were in all the Super Bowls except for 2.
I've seen that stat before.
Is it what the?
He's got a
Is it a more recent Super Bowl?
Culpepper?
No, it's old guy.
Probably somebody I'm not going to know then.
I think it was when they played the Bucks. They played Gruden's Bucks.
Oh, so the Raiders.
Yep.
Gannon.
Rich Cannon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great
Rich
QB
Gannon.
name. One of the best QB names of all time. So, yeah, I would say we know ball.
We know ball. We know ball.
Besides that test, we even knew ball. So whoever tried to set us up with that, that thought we were going to fail, joke's on them.
Wrong.
Okay, we'll do Red Wings hockey first.
No.
Connor was passionate last time. Guys, I was trying to find things to talk about for the Red Wings. I struggled. Hand up, I really just didn't have
They're
anything in
very
my bag.
injured, and they've lost a few games lately. That's what I'm going to say.
What are we talking about? Bad injuries? That's news to
Yeah,
me.
just the whole team's injured.
Proenick
what
got
I
hurt.
read.
Bertuzzi's out for weeks. Larkin got hurt last night, but I don't know what happened.
I did see that on my phone, and we got a push notification that Larkin was going to be out on Wednesday.
But I mean, and then their second goalie, Nedeljkovic. I mean, he's just one of the worst things I've ever seen.
What is this an Evan where pronunciation is not a strong suit?
Nedeljkovic.
Yes. So our research for this came from The Athletic. They did they do sport cards for hockey teams, and they put your stats on it, and it's like really easy on the eyes to look at like where you rank in the NHL. So my hot takes from that is it looks like Dylan Larkin's playing well. Lucas Raymond's having a little bit of a sophomore slump. David Perron's been a nice pickup. Bertuzzi's been injured and hasn't been doing great. Dominic Kubalik looks like he's been good. This is Red Wings fans that are actually fans like these guys. I mean, they can't. I just
They don't come here for Red Wings talk.
Hughes Suter not having a great season. Our backup goalie has been bad. Nice.
He sucks.
But our starting goalie seems to be really good. I would say.
Rousseau is very good, yeah. But
All right.
he's a.
All right, that was the Red Wings talk.
That was talking hockey.
Connor, if you've seen more of them, how did they get to the point where they were in the playoffs as of recently?
I mean,
what have they been doing?
The main thing is
Sucking.
that they usually just push it to overtime. They have a lot of games in overtime,
Which
so
you get
1 points theirs, and then
No ball.
I
usually
saw they're a very bad shootout team.
Oh my
1-7.
They're so bad in overtime. They're a joke.
So that tells
right.
that
They're
tells
also
me
a really streaky team because they go in 4 games and lose 3, and they're hot and cold, where they're getting the fans' expectations high and then low. So, I mean, it's just kind of a nice little roller coaster.
So what the OT thing tells me is that maybe our new coach, Lolon, maybe he's got a good system for the team, but we don't have high-end skill players when you're 3-on-3 in overtime and we just stink.
Yeah, that's why that was my only notes for this game, is just exactly what you said right there.
Really? I know puck. It just tells me we don't have which Evan.
We have a 7% chance of making the postseason according to the Athletics as of today.
They're only 3 points down though, and they're 2 games less. But I mean, they're
still bottom of the league.
To Connor's point, look at these swings. So we had a 3-game win streak, then a 4-game lose streak, then a 4-game win streak, then a 3-game lose streak, then 2 wins, then 3 losses. This team is an absolute roller coaster.
Yeah, and pretty much
we are in a loaded division
too. They just lose in the overtime.
I saw the Bruins are 23-4. That's not even fair.
They already have greater than a 99% chance to make the postseason. So do the Maple Leafs, and so do the Lightning, which are all in our division.
What about the Devils? The Devils are 21-6. Are they supposed to be good at hockey?
They have a 99% chance of the postseason as well.
They went on a 14-game or 13-game win streak earlier in the year, because they started out 2-3 or 2-4, and then they just won 14 in a row and skyrocketed.
Boston has a 75% chance of being the 1 seed already.
I mean,
it's December.
But we are 30 games in. That's more than 30% of the season. So, I mean, we had to talk about the Red Wings. We were overdue. They've already played a third of their season. I just don't know what to give the people. I have not been watching them. So, hand up, I just haven't been watching Red Wings hockey.
Me either.
I put them on last night at the very end. They didn't score a single goal. So, I was like, well.
They lost 1-0, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
And by the time I turned it on, everything, Alex
99% postseason chance for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the teams. I'm looking at the playoff stands right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. The top 6 teams don't even have 10 losses, and a couple of them, most of them have less than 6 or less. That's pretty crazy out of 30 games.
Some elite level teams at the top.
And we
the
only
Seattle Kraken have a way better chance of making the postseason than
Kraken
the
are
rest.
decent this year.
That kind of hurts. They sucked last year.
Can you name the only two teams in our conference? There's only one team that has more overtime losses than us.
Capitals.
The Philadelphia Flyers. We should play them.
Less than 1% chance of making the postseason. We are better than them.
I don't know. That's all I got, guys. We have a -3 goal differential, so we're about like a 500 team, it feels like.
We're the Minnesota Vikings just without the wins.
Okay.
First 10-win team through this point of the season to have a negative point differential.
That's Red Wings talk. We need a guy in the drafts. We need to keep stacking players.
Yeah, sure.
Pistons.
I got nothing
stink.
to add to hockey, so
Pistons,
Victor sweepstakes is on.
why don't you give that last name a
Pistons just
shot?
won tonight.
Wembayama.
Wembanyama.
It's really close. I think it's Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
Wamba.
Yeah, Wembanyama.
Yeah, I like that.
That's nice goal.
My Pistons
Again,
take
Colby?
Wembanyama. I'm glad to see the Pistons won. So thank you, Colby, for telling me that news. In order to prep for this show, I woke up from a nap and I turned on the game, Bally Sports, and I saw it was 73-69. I'm like, oh, third quarter? Nope, it was halftime. So I realized that we don't play defense still. We gave up 69 points to the Hornets at halftime, which seems laughable. We did score 73, so shout out us. We won the game, but this team stinks. And on the list
That's
of things,
an understatement. They're
list
dead last in the entire NBA.
the list of things that could have gone wrong for this team when you like made a little list, pros and cons of the Pistons year, Kate Cunningham's season-ending surgery would be number one of the cons, and that happened. So that's about where we are as a fan base. My question that I had wrote down that I was curious, are any of you guys starting to get like Detroit Tigers flashback where you're just becoming numb to this team and don't really care until they do something remotely good?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's been that way like the last 7 years. I mean, they've sucked every year.
Yeah.
But I mean, this team I'd say is more just because they still have a little bit more fun young pieces. But
Yeah, this team's fun because we have players that like could be fun or not fun. If that makes sense.
Sadiq Base not been very good.
Anyone want to guess what his 3-point percentage is?
It's really bad.
7.5.
He's on the way out in the trade rumors.
I don't like that.
16.
29%.
Two.
Yeah.
There was a time last year
Bad when
that,
you're shooting 6 a game.
the Celtics offered us Jaylen Brown for a package of Sadiq in first.
No, they did not.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
That sounds like a
That
Jake
is like
Fisher Bleacher Report bullshit.
Sadiq
That's
and the
not
Jaden
real.
Ivey pick.
I think the SGA stuff was real for
Oh my
the Cade
God.
pick.
That's starting to look nice.
He's pretty good. Yeah, I just
We suck.
yeah.
It's disappointing.
Bogey's a stud. We could trade Bogey for a first or in a second, possibly. But
Bogey's a stud, but
Yeah,
Bogey's
yeah.
He's all we have though.
he's the only guy on our team that can shoot
Hey,
3-pointers.
Correct.
yeah,
Like if we're
Buddy
gonna talk
Boeheim.
at the end of the day, this season's a wash because of Cade, and we should go for the first pick. If you believe in NBA rig conspiracies, you're gonna think they won't give us that pick because they gave us our
I want
golden
one
guy
or two.
in Cade. But my biggest concern to go bigger picture with this team, it's still early, people can change in their career, is that like the bulk of our backcourt can't shoot the 3-point ball, which seems like a big problem in today's NBA unless they're going to play elite defense, which we clearly don't so far.
Shooting's everything.
Like, for example, it's early. Cade was shooting 5 threes a game, only 12 games, so whatever. But he didn't have a great first year. He was shooting 28% from 3. That's not good. Jay and Ivy shoots 5 a game. He shoots 30%. That's not good. Cade, Sadiq Bey shoots 5.5 per game, 30%. That's not good. Isaiah Stewart, credit to him. He's our second best 3-point shooter. He shoots 4 a game and is 36%. So credit Isaiah Stewart for maybe those guys can figure it out.
You know what you need to do, Grant? This is the time. Let's give Killian Hayes some praise, okay? He's playing well. He had 25, 8, and 7 tonight too. So
say that.
at least at a minimum, let's give him some praise, Grant.
That's a
You
bright
owe it to
spot.
him.
I'm happy for Killian Hayes and what he's been doing. It's good to get this growth, especially as Cade's out. Unfortunately for Killian Hayes, through no fault of his own, similar to how Jeff Okuda has been treated by you in the past,
I turned around on.
Continue to watch Tyrese Halliburton look like a franchise-altering player, I'm just never going to get there with Killian Hayes. He's always going to have that little asterisk in the back of my mind.
Leads the team in assists, steals, has a 3 to assist to turnover ratio of 3, which is very good. He's a good player. He's playing well. All that he needs really is just more minutes.
He's not a good player yet. He's showing flashes, and then if he gets like another year next year where he's like fully consistent, then he's good. But it's like you just can't look at Tyrese Halliburton's numbers and be like, I just think about what could have been. And I was on it before the draft. That's why I'm more mad. Like if I was like, oh no, Killian's the guy. I didn't know who Killian Hayes was until draft night. And I was like, all right, I'll sell myself on it. I wanted Tyrese Halliburton because I watch college basketball. And Tyrese Halliburton is averaging 20 points and 10 assists.
Still,
and
I can't get around on Tyrese Halliburton because he shoots like a dummy.
Well, then you're just a dummy.
Nah, he's good.
His career 3-point percentage is 40%.
Is our team any better with him though? Or we still probably suck with Cade injured and out for the season, and Sadiq Bey shooting 8% from anywhere?
I mean, tell me how the Pacers are doing this year, and I would say that's close to what you get because we took. I mean, they have young pieces. They weren't supposed to be great.
They're not great.
Better than us. We'd be better. So yes, we would be.
We're
better.
awful. We're the worst team in the league. It's not hard to be much better.
I just don't know where it goes. I also don't want to talk about a guy's job when they're so low, but this is kind of the thing.
Dwayne Casey needs to be fired.
Oh. He should have been fired 2 years ago.
So
yeah, I mean, that's not hot take. That's just true.
But in a nicer way, like he is serving his role. Like he was the Ron Gardenhire. He was the Jeff Blashill, like veteran coach to get guys along. But I can't take this team seriously until like there's a new sharp mind in the building.
Yeah.
Maybe you can keep Dwayne Casey on staff as like a mentorship role. That's fine. He seems like he's got a lot of knowledge. He's like, the players seem to not hate him.
Let's get rid of John Beilein because he's supposed to be the shooting coach and he's garbage at it. So
I would like
that's
to know
not Michigan bias. That's just if your job is to make people better at shooting and everyone sucks at shooting, you should be fired.
Yeah. I don't know how hands-on he is though. I don't know if that was like a retirement job.
Well, whatever it is, get rid of him.
Is anyone
overhaul?
Jason, anyone? Are you guys like deep down, like big picture concerned about Cade's injury? Because I know there's like hyperbole, like vegan talk and whatnot. And I've been reading like shin injuries are very strange. So I might be concerned a little bit, like more so than a normal like ACL injury.
Well, yeah, he's got to start eating meat. Not the turkey though; it's a scared bird. But he needs to start incorporating chicken, maybe some red meat.
Some bison ground beef.
That like actually impacts him. But yeah, I mean, I'm nervous about it. Seems like he's injured all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess now both the seasons. He's had like because he started the year last year with an ankle, and then came on. I'm still holding out like comfortability with him because I think he's a dog, and I think that's what we identified when we watched him in college. Like he's a competitive freak, and you could tell he worked really hard in the offseason because he looked like a different grown man when he came back. So I have no doubt that he's going to like work really hard. It's just you don't have many shin season-ending injuries where like you debated for like 3 months whether or not to get surgery. I just can't wrap my brain around it because I don't know. I don't have much history of this injury, and that's what's concerning, the lack of knowledge I have about it.
You know, I feel like I haven't really heard of many people with like a shin injury in general, season ending or not. Like I feel like that's just unless it's shin splints. But...
I was gonna say shin splints is all I think of. Yeah. I had a bad case of them in middle school or whatever it was when he hit his growth spurt.
Everyone had shin splints in 7th grade track just because they didn't want to run.
I was going to say, I never personally had shin splints. I can't speak to them.
I faked shin splints for sure.
I still fake them so I don't have to run.
Yeah, anytime like sometimes you miss a shot in basketball, you'd be like, dude, I missed that. My shins, dude, I can't jump. Can't release.
That's strange.
I broke my elbow on that shot.
My UCL.
So the Pistons are the Tigers. Good point is I
Let's
think
boycott them.
Jaden Ivey is third in rookie scoring, so he's doing solid. He's not like insane, but he's doing really good. And then Jalen Duren is playing a lot, which is good because they're both really young, so they need as much experience as they can get. I don't know what else to say. I will not care about this team and take them seriously until they learn how to play defense, because that seems like the most simplest thing you can ask a team to do. That's just about caring. And if you don't play defense, then I can't get behind you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're an absolutely awesome opening day team, but I mean, to be honest with you, the first game they won, they lost 2 in a row. I haven't watched a single full game since.
I'm trying to think of the last one I watched. Yeah. Maybe I tuned into OKC because I thought we'd win. I feel like I watched that.
I don't think I've watched a game since the one that we won live on air on the podcast.
That was like one of the first. That was like the second or third night. Yeah,
it's just tough rooting for losers all the time.
And
the Lions have given us hope.
And it's partially hockey too. Like the regular seasons of 82 games just stink, dude. And they don't matter. Nothing. And that's a big thing why I'm so depressed about the Pistons, is because they need to even get as the 8th seed and get their butts whooped at least once to like learn what playoff basketball is like. It's just like we set ourselves back a whole year with this injury because like he's going to be the face of us, and they need to learn how to play together and learn how to lose in the playoffs and then make adjustments and find a new coach. And if he's not playing, like we just need Wembanyama, I guess, because then we're going to be elite the year after.
The NBA starts in October.
Yeah.
And finishes in June.
Or I was thinking regular season.
June.
50 games would be really nice.
Let's talk about that, Adam Silver.
I never will because of money, but
not even the regular season, the playoffs in general. Like, it's just like you hit the NBA finals and you're like, oh my gosh, the first round of the playoffs is like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, legitimately
it was so long ago.
All right.
Makes sense.
Miscellaneous bucket to end it out. Any college stuff that anyone has? The Tigers made a trade that I liked, and then Christmas stuff. But we don't have to get too Christmassy because we still have one more episode before Christmas. So
boycotting the Tigers, so I will not be commenting on anything Grant says about them.
Your full boycott, even though we have a new GM, I thought you liked it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Boycott's still pretty much on for now.
We traded a guy that looks like a winner. That's all I'm going to say. He
looks cool.
Baller.
The guy
don't know anything about his baseball skills.
Yeah, they're talking about Justin Henry Malloy. That was the main guy that we got. He looks sweet.
Is he Lawyer Malloy's son?
I don't think so, but he spelled his name
Justin. You know who Lawyer Malloy is?
No.
All-pro safety.
For the Patriots.
Patriots and Bills, yes.
Great job. It's not spelled like that.
Why? I don't have the spelling.
How about having the first name Lawyer? Can we just talk about that for a quick second?
Yeah, it's something.
Lawyer, Malloy.
Mm.
That'd be a lot of sweet puns if he was like did you say he was a safety?
Yeah, hard hitting.
Yeah, like
safety.
I bet they would like he brought justice on that hit or some cheesy stuff like that. Like there was probably a lot of good puns with Lawyer Malloy in your secondary.
I'm surprised you thought of that. That was very cheesy and terrible.
With like Aaron Judge.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, like
everything about that was uncomfortable.
Everyone's like justices in session when he hits a home run. They have people that dress up in the outfield. Like,
anyways,
Legion of Boom.
So the Tigers made a trade for a guy that Grant thinks is cool because his picture looked nice,
and he played at Vanderbilt for one season, and Vanderbilt is a factory.
So he's done nothing in the majors.
He transferred to Georgia Tech. No, but he was his first year. He went from A ball to triple A ball in 1 year.
We're talking about this.
I'm just telling you, I'm calling my shot.
Next bucket. Michigan State football died a few days ago, and now it's back alive.
I had a question. Is the sky falling in East Lansing? Jeremy Bernard. Although I heard people saying Jeremy.
It's
Jeremy.
I'm under the impression it's Jeremy. I listened to a Twitter
I thought
space.
It was Jeremy when he committed last year, but then I was told it was Jeremy, so I don't really care. Or no, he's not on the team, doesn't matter.
I listened to a bit of a Twitter space with the chief of prop, and he was confidently saying Jeremy.
Then maybe it's Jeremy.
Bernard out after 1 year, who was tabbed by Chief to be the Big Ten Freshman of the Year after week 1. So I thought the sky was
Listen, it's
falling.
real simple, Grant.
But
It's real
then
simple.
people came in. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts.
When a guy doesn't even visit your campus and then just signs and doesn't tell anybody, yeah, this stuff is going to happen. He didn't never even been to Michigan.
It's like online shopping.
You see this
without
winter?
trying on the clothes, baby. I like the look of that. He
came on a whim because his position coach went to Oregon right at the last second.
Did he see some of those Mel Tucker photos? Like what sold him on like going? Like how do you just pick Michigan
Mel
State?
called him. Mel just won the Peach Bowl. He called him and he was like, "Okay, I'll play for you, coach."
I love
that. He saw Kenneth Walker. Yeah, he was drinking the green Kool-Aid at that point.
I love that.
And now he's going back to the West Coast to be closer to home because he probably hates this weather and hates Michigan State, which good riddance. Don't care.
Yeah.
The sky is not falling. I think it's laughable to watch our fan base implode over one kid leaving on a 100-man roster is just laughable. Laugh out loud funny. I laughed quite a bit.
Yeah, Jason, talking to you. I'm just kidding. I have no idea how you felt.
No, I'm not. I just think it's ridiculous. People overreact. I always tell Grant about recruiting. You just got to wait to see what happens at the end. You can't just judge it all in the summer but now Michigan State's turned into Michigan and think that winning summer recruiting is like we're the greatest football team ever when it means absolutely nothing.
I will never forget the June recruiting banner that Michigan State fans hung on Twitter.
Everyone just needs to chill out.
It's fun
see how it finishes.
Look, I don't blame any fan base when you're racking up recruits in like a 5-day period. It
feels good.
It's awesome. It's
but
awesome.
And even more so now in this world of recruiting, kids are not committed. That is a joke. They shouldn't even have commitments. Kids are like, yeah, I'll announce my decision on Friday.
Chris Solari. Chris Solari never calls them commitments or whatever. He calls them something weird.
Well, I'm not a loser like that.
No, you are.
I'm saying
Chris Solari in the chat.
If you are committed, and I see this thing, it's like the decision Friday, but the kid's already committed to a school.
I love that, though. I love that.
He's like, he's either going to recommit to the same school or commit to a different one. It's like, well, people just open up the Brinks truck and there's money getting thrown around recklessly, and the one-time transfer rule, even if you get this kid, as we saw last year, you got a nice, sweet commit, signed, and then boom, gone in less than a year.
I heard in the college football space, one of the guys I like is Josh Pate, his show. I feel like he knows what he's talking about and has good sources. He put a Twitter clip up today that was like kind of calm everyone and saying like the bigger, more established college programs aren't giving out as much NIL money up front as you think. Like,
yeah,
I think we know A&M and Miami are, but I think like the established, like they said for quarterbacks, they'll do that and maybe an edge rusher, but for the like they're not paying offensive tackles like $800,000 to come to school. Like they're just gonna explain to you what you're gonna make if you're good. But I think everyone needs to relax when they say, "Oh, X and X dropped a bag for this kid." I don't think that's really how it's going.
There's a few schools that do that. Miami, Texas A&M. Louisville was doing it, which is wild. But yeah, most of the schools aren't doing that. But kids also are now thinking that they're worth like millions of dollars without playing a single snap. And so then their egos have just gone through the roof about this stuff, which is another reason why they're flipping every 30 seconds. It's exhausting. I don't recommend anybody following it until the end.
I can't blame him. If Grant was a highly touted wide receiver prospect, I would like to play at Michigan, Notre Dame, LSU, and Ole Miss by the time that my college career was up. And I probably would try to do so. I think it'd be really fun. Like, wouldn't you guys love to go to 4 schools, do different climates, maybe mix in a USC? Like, if I could go anywhere in the country, I'd try to live it up and play for 6 years. Maybe.
Yeah. No, I don't think I'd want to do it like that.
No, it'd be fun, guys. Come on.
2 schools. Yeah, I could say 2 would be nice.
Go to the rival and then just be the most polarizing athlete in the country.
No, but I would for sure go to the SEC.
Do you think it'll ever happen where like a really, not like a Ben Van Sumeren of the world, but like a really good player will flip across the state border rivalry and like play against the other team the next year? That would be electric.
I think it's low probability, but you never know.
I'm waiting for that day to happen.
Andrell Anthony when he hits the portal.
He'll Could.
I have seen graphics of him.
Probably end up at Iowa, right? Feels like that's the funnel.
Yeah, but my last point on the sky is falling is you got your greatest running back ever out of the portal, so the portal's going to give and the portal's going to take. So just
Giveth
relax.
and taketh.
Yes.
Now I also normally have reached that conclusion with you about recruiting where I try not to get too worked up. But then after seeing like Donovan Edwards and JJ make immediate impacts their sophomore year, I'm kind of more flipping back to like it really does matter. I've landed on
no, the talent matters. I'm not saying that. I'm saying watching kids flip back and forth 200 times doesn't matter until the end.
Yeah. I think you need like a couple high-end guys, and then if you have good talent development, don't be mad if you get a lot of 3 stars. Like 3 stars can turn into really good players if you have good talent development.
Michigan State has, in Mel Tucker's last 2 seasons, 17 4-star recruits, and Mark Antoni the last 6 years before that had 9 total. If you get 22 starters on 11 on 11 on both sides of the ball, and they're all 4 stars, I think you'll be pretty good. So just relax. Just wait.
But you're also playing against teams that have the same, if not better.
You're playing 3 teams that'll have that. Michigan, Penn State, and Ohio State.
Every year, if you can't beat those teams, you won't do shit.
Facts.
Yeah, facts. Michigan State has 5 top 300 recruits. There's only 4 other Big Ten teams that have top 300
we got to add in
the rest have 0.
2 Pac-12 wagons. That's going to be fun. College football is fun and not stressful at all.
And Dante Moore is going to be a UCLA Bruin quarterback.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That'd be crazy.
He hates the state. He doesn't want to be here. He spurned Michigan. He spurned us. He has no interest in
go to
being
UCLA
here.
or Oregon?
He's a weird guy. He's visiting Ohio State this weekend, so watch out.
If
Ohio's
Dante Moore is?
Yep.
Oh, they just took a QB, though. There's no way he's going to do that.
Well, if he goes to UCLA, then he can come into East Lansing and come into Ann Arbor and beat us.
Yeah.
Good luck, dude. Talk coming.
At least with you guys, if it makes you guys feel better.
I don't feel bad.
At least, like, if there's any recruiting struggles, you have an actual, like, you can tell yourself a reason. I can't figure out. Michigan's class is arguably worse overall, like, in the scheme of themes than Michigan State's because of the success they've had on field. I can't figure out why they're behind South Carolina, Arkansas.
I don't think they're putting full time and resources into it.
Yeah,
probably fair. I think they're hitting the transfer portal harder than years past.
I think they got someone today.
They got one, and then they're trying to get a Coastal Carolina guy that I think it's down to USC and Michigan.
Grayson McCall.
No, Josiah Stewart. He's an edge rusher. Not to get in the weeds, but he had a good freshman year, bad sophomore year, trying to get out.
I spent the last 2 years dedicated to trying to follow the portal. This year, I'm just out on it. I'm just waiting to see what happens. It's way too much. There's way too many kids in there. I can't follow it.
Yeah, I try not to check Twitter for it. I'll just look if there's like an article written, if anyone says like this is close to happening, or I'll just wait till the push notification hits my phone. I'm like, oh, we got a guy. It's more fun that way. It's surprising. Message boards are exhausting. I don't know how people keep up.
Yeah. Michigan State fans are just exhausting. They get mad when we get a recruit. They get mad when we lose a recruit.
My worst message board moment was when I thought Michigan was going to get Amani Bates in the summer, and I was on that case for like 3 days thinking like what's going to happen for latest updates. And after that moment, I thought I was like, wow, that was pathetic that I invested that much time and never did it again.
That's fair. I read on a message board once, I have to say this, that this was on signing day. It's like the first time I ever looked at message boards. And I read Keon Coleman will be signing with Tulane. And like every single person on that website was like, yeah, no, he's a lock to Tulane. Good riddance. Even if he came here, he'd transfer after 1 season, blah, blah, blah. Just so much Keon Coleman hate. Then he flipped, or probably was never going to Tulane, whoever came up with that. And then they're like, oh, well, we don't want him because he was going to go to Tulane and he's going to transfer next year. And now he's pretty good. So that's how I know message boards are just a joke.
That's a good one. For the 3 guests, what's the number one thing you want Santa to bring you for Christmas this year?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be honest.
I have no idea. You go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I like only ask for clothes now. Like I'm pretty privileged. I have everything I want or could want. So it's just clothes. Like I would be fine opening up socks and underwear. So
Simple, man.
Agreed.
Love that.
I think for Christmas this year, because I mean, I sent my mom a couple things. I mainly just said, like, hey, like, you just want to give me some money, gift cards, I'll go buy my own clothes. That's it. Christmas is just getting boring now. I hate not being little on Christmas. Christmas used to be fun.
I mean, you are a little
Now
boy, Colby.
All right, got her. Now Christmas morning, I mean, I know I'm going to get some clothes. Yeah, I'm with Jason. New socks and new underwear. That's a good Christmas. That's a good Christmas morning.
I actually changed mine. If I could pick one thing, it would be a shot of Michigan sports, Grant, Alex, and Evan beer poster. You know, like those sexy beer posters?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Yeah. That would be the one thing I would ask from Santa.
That's something
Santa's
else.
not really, you know.
Okay.
Okay, guy.
There's kids that listen to this show.
Yeah, we got little kids.
You have Evan's
actually,
whole team.
What do you want, Connor?
Stop. Got it.
Off the record.
I asked for
A big old bong.
there's a new dozen trivia card game that, you know, I absolutely want. So that's what I asked for, Alex.
That fits you. That does.
Would you want to play with me sometime?
Grant, what do you want for Christmas?
I don't know. I was saving mine for next week. We still have one more before the holidays.
You want me to send this over?
That would be nice. There's no denying that. I'm good with my new coffee pot. That's all I need.
Simple guy.
So was that like a gift from somebody else, or did you buy that though?
Oh, mommy bought that.
Gift from my parents. So like I'm not going to be back at my home. So I'm going to Marissa's in the UP. So the present situation's a little weird. So I actually just purchased it on Amazon with her card, and that just counted.
Gotcha.
Towards it.
That's the show.
Alex,
Saving
are
my
you
Christmas.
sure what you want?
Yeah, no, Grant says he wants to do it next week. I'm gonna wait for Evan to be back.
Gotcha.
I'll send the three of you guys what I'm getting Alex for Christmas. It's pretty funny.
All right.
If you guys have any ideas of what,
or you know what,
based on that, you should
actually
let me know.
we'll just wait till Alex gets it, and then he'll send it.
Yeah, I like that better.
Yeah, he'll just and you'll know.
So you didn't grant something.
Oh, I have to now. I told him not to do that, but it's classic Grant.
I don't want to be that guy. I thought of something that I would think was cool, but I don't want to put that on you, because that's just kind of weird.
That is. Why don't you tell Marissa? Maybe she'll tell me on accident.
I'll give you a hint. When Alex and I lived together, I got him a nice off of eBay, a Kenneth Walker Michigan State football card that was pretty sweet.
That is cool.
They don't like make official ones, but they do like paintings of people. JJ McCarthy is one of my favorite players, Alex. Just a little. All right. That is episode 101. Wow, you guys run for 100 and 101. What a ride. Cheers to 101. And God, this is a lull in the Lions just continuing their stretch and hopefully getting Evan back. We need to corral that kid back in.
Cheers.
Yeah, to Evan. And in Michigan State hockey, 1-1 split with Michigan over the weekend.
Very
Hadn't
nice.
beat them in like six games. So
Nightingale.
Did Evan make a comment? Did Evan make a comment about our performance in the pod last weekend or last week?
He didn't listen to it.
Oh, all right.